Om Shanti sister, how are you?
Om Shanti, brother. I'm fine. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm fine. For those Hindu brothers and sisters who are watching this video, happy Vaikunthi Ekadashi. Okay, sister. So now we are seeing the fourth chapter, which is titled as Women and Nisa. So we are going to see the 29th verse. Read it, sister.
O believers, do not consume each other's wealth illegally, but trade by mutual consent, and do not kill yourselves, for God is merciful towards you.
Okay. So although this chapter is all about women, but here I don't know why they are bringing about how to trade here. But anyway, uh, so here it is said that you should trade according to God's will. So that's what they mean by legally. So, so you should not be jealous. You should not have this. So although it is not uh, against God's law to do trade or business, but it is against God's law when you are doing out of greediness. If you are getting profit, decent amount of profit, that's fine. But when you get so greedy and want to take huge profit that you are supposed to make in 1 month in a day, then maybe that's the reason we are getting 1 year's rain in 1 day. Because of this greediness, God is punishing us. So people are so greedy nowadays. Likewise, when you are doing business with your business partner, so do it with mutual consent. Don't try to exploit him, either his money or his work, because there are trading partners for whom we are supposed to give 50% of the profit, because we are not doing anything, we are just giving money. In no business you will get 50% return, right? But here you are getting it because of somebody else's work. So it is, even by human's law, it is legal to, it is necessary to give 50% of profit to the working partner. But there are many who don't do that. So you shouldn't do such things. If you are, it's like you are eating others' wealth, because it is supposed to be somebody else's. It is like stealing somebody's effort and money. So that's why it is said, don't consume each other's wealth illicitly. In other translation, it is mentioned, don't eat another's wealth illegally. So it's like eating somebody else's money. It is like killing yourselves, because whatever we have accumulated as charity in front of God, it gets destroyed when you are doing sin out of greed. So, since God is merciful towards you, you should also be merciful towards others, your business partners, to your consumers. So, that is what it means, sister. So, let's go to 30th verse.
1 second, brother.
Mm.
Whoever does that out of hostility and wrongdoing, we will cast him into a fire, and that would be easy for God.
Yeah. So, it is God's law that you have to do business with your partner with mutual consent. So it applies to everything, including the partition of your property. Everything should be according to God's law. And also, human law is also similar to that. But if you want to prove that you are intelligent in hoarding their wealth, then it will not take long for God to put you into fire. Doesn't mean He is going to throw you into some fire. It means to put you into pain, to put you into something. See, now we can see what's happening in Palestine, Ukraine, in several parts of the world where natural calamities are afflicting people. So it won't take long for God to punish you. And it will happen when you least expect it. That's the thing. So who knows? Maybe they would have done these sins in their past life, for which they are punished now, for which they are born into places of conflict. So it won't take long for God to put you into fire. It's easy for Him. So if you do these wrong things out of hostility or greediness, you are sure to experience punishment. If you want to, if you want not to get punished, then always restrain yourself from doing anything wrong against the will of God. That's something we will intuitively know that it is wrong. It's very simple. If the same thing happens to me, will I be able to bear it? If I can't, it is wrong. Whether you call him by names, if he just because he is your worker, will you accept if he do the same to you? If you can't accept it, it means it's wrong. If it hurts anybody in any way, it is wrong. So it's very easy. Okay, sister. And 31, sister.
If you avoid the worst of what you are forbidden, we will remit your sins and admit you by a gate of honor.
This is very amazing. So God has forbidden us from doing wrong things. And usually people of religions do not know what is right or wrong because it's not mentioned in any religious scriptures. So it is only when God Himself comes into this world that He teaches what is right and what is wrong. He says He creates this world as heaven. It's not as people believe heaven is somewhere else, hell is somewhere else, and we are in between. No. There could be a day or night, nothing in between. Like that, this world could be heaven or hell, nothing in between. So it was heaven in the beginning when God created it 5,000 years back. It's been heaven for the first 2,500 years, and the last 2,500 years, we are converting into hell by committing sins. How is it possible for us not to make any sins in the first 2,500 years? God says that's because although people are so pretty, both men and women look so pretty, they don't get attracted to each other. Although there will be plenty of wealth, but it is number wise. Not everybody is distributed wealth equally because obviously king will be the richest. Then there will be richer people. Then there will be poor people and poorer than them and poorer than them. But no matter how poor, even if you take the poorest one in heaven, he would be richer than the richest person on earth now. So it's not that they don't have anything to eat, not that poor. They are poor just by comparison. That's it. So they will all be happy because they are not attracted by anything external to them, including the bodily attractions, mainly because their concentration is in between the eyebrows, where we souls reside. So that's the reason Hindus apply tilak here. So everybody considers themselves to be souls and interact with each other as souls. That is, they know intuitively that it is souls that sees through the eyes, speaks through the mouth, listens through the ear, performs all actions through this body. And It is because the soul is filled with the soul power, they have that much concentration. But that power of the soul slowly decreases. By the time it reaches the first 2500 years, it decreases to the extent it can no longer concentrate on the soul. So it gets distracted by the external attractions. That's when they become addicted to sensual pleasures. And also those five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So these five sins are collectively called Satan or Maya or Ravan. So the main reason for that is we are no longer soul conscious. When we were soul conscious in heaven, we were constantly happy and peaceful because that's the very nature of the soul. From the time we forget that we are souls, we start experiencing sorrow and pain because our effort to seek pleasure from outside will prove futile sooner or later because that's not going to be permanent. They are all short lived. So, still, because of our addiction, we go after that. Whatever comes in our way to prevent that, we are ready to remove it or kill if it is anybody. So that's how we start committing sins and accumulate sins for birth after birth for the past 2500 years. Finally, just 100 years before the destruction of this world, God Himself comes. He is called Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians, God Shiva by Hindus. God is just one for all religions. Since God is one, He also comes only once, just 100 years before the destruction of the world. So far, whatever you have been listening from all religions, they are all human dictates. It has nothing to do with God. That's why people kill each other in the name of religions. So God says, it is because you become body conscious that you commit many sins. Now you have to become fully soul conscious. You have to consider yourself to be soul and connect your mind to the Father of all souls, which is God. So God is the Father of souls, not the human body. In Quran it is mentioned God doesn't take birth, which is true. He doesn't take birth like humans through a mother's womb. Nonetheless, he comes because only he has this knowledge. Nobody else has this knowledge. In Quran, it is mentioned only Allah has this knowledge, has His knowledge. Nobody else. For that, only He has to come, and He gives His teachings. And He says, become soul conscious again, like you were before. You have to consider yourself to be the soul, but since the soul has no power in it, it can't concentrate for more than a minute or so. So, for that, we have to fill our souls with power from God by being in remembrance with Him all the time, as much as possible. No matter what you do, you can remember God because you don't have to bend your body, you don't have to go to any pilgrimage places, you don't have to make any hard work. It is the easiest. That's why in the previous verses it is mentioned, I have made everything easy. Do you think going to Mecca is easy? Or not even swallowing the saliva is easy for that for throughout a month? So that's not God's way. That's the Satan's way. Satan's way is to make us roam from door to door in search of peace, but we will never get it. So God frees us from the path of devotion. Of course, just by doing devotion, we are getting God. But after attaining God, now we have to follow the direction of God. His direction is very simple, very easy to follow. even a 5-year-old child to the 90-year-old men or women can easily follow it, because all we have to do is to remember God as a point of light after considering ourselves to be souls. That's it. Forget that you are a body. Forget that you have a body. Just consider yourself to be a point of light and also see each other as a point of light. That's all we need to do. It is only when you see the body you will get attracted to each other and you lust each other. Lust is the greatest sin, because of which we are facing all problems now. So God asks you to conquer the sin of lust by becoming soul conscious. If you succeed in conquering lust, then it's very easy to conquer other vices like anger, greed, attachment, and ego. So only now we know that being body conscious is the greatest sin we have to conquer. That is forbidden. But God is not going to give you any punishment now, but you yourself will be giving punishment for yourself. Because we have sinned in the past. To escape those sins, you have to follow what is God saying now. So God says, don't look at the body. If you see the body, you are doing something that is forbidden for you. Then, as mentioned in the previous verse, it is easy for God to put you into fire of pain. Doesn't mean He is going to put you into a physical fire. Fire of anger, you will be born in a place where everybody is bad, or you will get a spouse who is torturing you throughout your life, or even kill you, poison you, or you will get a child who disobeys you. So, but if you avoid the worst of what is forbidden is lust, seeing each other, getting attracted to the body, seeing the body. If you avoid it, we will remit, cancel all your sins that you have committed. And how is it possible is not mentioned in Quran or any religious scriptures. How is it possible? People think it's impossible. One Muslim brother has commented in our video in another language that every animal is having sex. So except you. So what's proud in that? So are you animal? Every animal is roaming without dress. Are you ready to roam like that? So you got to think about it. So only for prostitution, all religion give the most severe punishment. If sex is right, why should they punish? If you have sex with your wife or husband, you are sure to get addicted to it. Sooner or later, you will definitely commit prostitution, especially in countries when it is not against law, like India or any Western nation. Okay. And when you start getting more and more addicted, then when you are put into taking birth in the strictest country like Afghanistan, you can't have control over your mind. So you will definitely indulge in rape or something like that, adultery. Then you will have a severe punishment. So, but if you avoid the worst, which is the last, then obviously that is only by being in remembrance of God. That's something I wanted to tell. Only when you connect your mind to God as much as possible, your soul will be filled with power that you can no longer get attracted, because you will attain happiness from within. Then you don't have to uh,